Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is for Mercury Retrograde. Right now we're in the shadow point, so you all should already start feeling the energy and vibrations of this amazing energy. I know a lot of people dislike Mercury Retrograde, but during so many years of working with this vibration, I have learned so much. And Mercury Retrograde is here to teach us about our lives, the changes we need to make, the accepting of the new things that are coming into our lives, and the being in tune with how to take care of ourselves, our families, our loved ones, our businesses, just really honing in on this energy to see what is best for us personally. So to the left we have the pumpkin energy because we are in pumpkin season. So I'm really excited about that. I have not shared my scripting with autumn energy yet. That will be coming soon. I just haven't created the printables yet. The second one is my personal beautiful Amethyst, mystic energy. I love Amethyst, my favorite crystal of all time. And to the right we have my puff rose quartz, little vibration of love energy. So see which one or which ones call to you, and I will post below the time frame for you to listen to that those messages. All right, so here we go. Hello beautiful stars. So this is the reading portion, and we are going to start with the pumpkin, beautiful little pumpkin, as we are opening up to the season of autumn. This is my favorite season. Mercury retrograde, I already feel it. I could feel this kind of what I'm feeling is a sense of calm, but also a sense of a nervousness of I have to make the changes, I have to finish different projects. As a matter of fact, one of the projects that yesterday I uploaded the Mercury Retrograde journal. I am the very first, so I'm happy to announce, the very first Mercury Retrograde journal available on Amazon is mine. So I will link it below. I have found that through my and I talk about this all the time, through my journaling, my scripting, my, going back in different eras, different decades of my life, seeing a lot of repetitive energies. You notice which Mercury retrogrades when you journal inflict you the most, which ones are the ones that are kind of more powerful. You would think that the beginning of the year, since Mercury retrograde is usually January, February, which would be like my my sign energy, you would think that one's the one that affects me the most. But for me personally, Mercury retrograde, that April, May, or May, June energy tends to be the strongest for me. This one is coming in October, is a bit more emotional, a bit more spiritual, me kind of coming in tune to the things that I have to do, the changes that I have to make, the projects that I'm working on, really focusing on the boundaries, setting like strict boundaries between, my personal self and my clients, because there's always that, too much allowing my clients to come into my personal space. That's like a main thing, and I always talk about this because this is, it's personal to me. This is my experience. So you need to find like your boundaries, like what boundaries in your life are being affected. I feel like this Mercury retrograde has a lot to do with that. Is your your boss taking advantage of you? Is your partner taking advantage of you? Like, what in your life do you need to send a certain balance and boundaries so you could focus on your projects? Something that I've noticed is that since now I've been setting like major boundaries between myself and my clients, I tend to have a lot more time to focus on my work. And focusing on my work blesses the lives of others, because my work is about expansion, about spiritual growth, about, manifesting. So therefore I'm able to create more content, like This video is really important because this is going to give you a glimpse of what Mercury retrograde is going to represent for yourself. Now, if you chose one stack of cards or you chose all three, don't second guess yourself. Allow the energies to flow. I will link the time frames below so you could see the different energies. You could go right to it. But I do recommend that you take some notes. If you don't get my Mercury retrograde journal, I suggest that you do it in your own journal. This is going to help you a lot. All right, so let's start with the beautiful energy of pumpkin magic, that mystical autumn magic. So this is our stack of cards. The first one that we got is feeling alone. So a lot of us, even myself, which I find myself to be very spiritual, I love being alone. I'm always in the hermit mode. I find myself that sometimes I crave that, okay, going out with friends. I think COVID did a big number on us because we kind of disassociated ourselves a lot from socializing. And while I am a social butterfly, like it's very easy for me to just walk up to a stranger and build a conversation, I have found that I am not hanging out with my friends, and I'm not going out and doing things with my friends, and I'm not making plans with my friends. So that energy of feeling alone is going to be very real, especially like for some of you that are in a long distance relationship, you know, wanting to be with your partner, wanting to kind of have that someone that's there to go to have those conversations to engage with. So that energy is very, very real during this Mercury retrograde. And they're telling me, especially towards the middle of Mercury retrograde, there is a moment that you're gonna be like, okay, so what is Spirit is telling you, you know, because okay, that's the problem. So what's the solution, Spirit? Well, you know, Spirit, it's trying to call a friend. You know, if your partner is not giving you the attention, then go out with some friends. Or you know, I just did a reading for someone, and something that was shared that I thought was really cool is starting a book club. Is starting a book club, you know, starting some kind of hobby, some kind of something that you could do with friends or even family, or even if you do it online, but that you're actually having real conversations, not texting, not messaging. I find that texting and messaging is very superficial. I feel like there's something about just seeing the person or actually engaging in a conversation that is very therapeutic and very beautiful. Another thing is simplicity. So we all know that Mercury retrograde tells you to declutter, to cleanse, to clear, to get rid of the stuff. A lot of, you know, I'm always cleansing, clearing, decluttering because I tend to have a lot of clutter. And I don't know if I told you, I think I have. A couple of weeks ago, my daughter's like, I'm not bringing my friends over, Mom. You got too much junk in this house. This is embarrassing. So, you know, and you don't notice certain things until other people like point it out, especially like my daughter was like, I'm not bringing people over, so they could see that you have like a whole shopping in the house and just like stacks of books everywhere. You know, she made me feel like an episode of Hoarders. So what am I doing? So between me and her, it is taking a lot of time, but we're clearing, making space. I'm donating books, I'm selling books, you know, which is really hard for me because I am a book bug. So I tend to really like not only love certain books, but they kind of become like my best friends, and you never want to get rid of your best friends, right? So I don't like to get rid of books a lot. But even so, I am going to be doing that. I'm going to be just donating a bunch of stuff. I'm very lucky that I have a donation box like right in my community. So this is a great way to kind of bring down and be more simple in your life and do things that are so since we are going into a major recession, it doesn't take away from doing things. It's just that what you should do from what Spirit is showing here is to kind of cut back, you know, cut back on your subscriptions. And they're like telling me to, because I have a good 10 subscriptions going at the same time. Finding just ways to be more frugal and more simple, and just, you know, like I started making my coffee at home like many months ago. I feel like, you know, the whole thing with COVID started it because, you know, it was tedious going to those long lines at Starbucks and not getting the coffee the way I wanted to. And then I was, you know, spending anywhere from $50 to $60 to sometimes $100 a week just going to Starbucks alone. And now I don't even spend $20 I don't even think that. It all depends because I brew it different ways. So yeah, it's just kind of finding the things, the ways of making you more simple, you know, things that are more fun. Like we're gonna be doing a scripting with autumn video that I will be sharing to my Patreons. My Patreons will get the printables, very pretty, all autumn leaves and colors and just aesthetics, so we could create a really beautiful, almost like a vision board, but this is going to be through scripting. It's going to be really cool, and the video will be coming up. If you want the printables, I will try to link them in the video for you if you're not a Patreon. Patreon memberships start at $5.55. There is no excuse for you not to be a Patreon. A lot of you are going to have your hearts reveal a lot of truth. So what happens is when our hearts reveal truth, we kind of like freak out because we're like, we feel uncomfortable, especially if these are truths about your beloved or truth about your friends or truth about things that are very personal to you. So they're calling it a beautiful, and it says a beautiful uncaging, sorry, the light. So it means that your heart is going to like open up, and when your heart opens up, that's why when we do chakra healings, we always close our chakras to a certain point to be comfortable, because if it's too closed, it's not good, because especially if the heart is manifesting vibration. But if it's too open, it's not also good, because then you're going to feel too much, and that is going to always have you very emotional and unbalanced. But what happens with the uncaging, and they're saying that this is going to happen through the energy of the 14, 15, 16. I'm going to guess this is around the full moon vibration. So, you know, it's not only the Mercury retrograde, but then the full moon comes into play at this time. You are going to be very emotional. So because your heart is going to be sharing things that might make you feel uncomfortable, or it's too real, or, you know, well, what can I do, or what changes? So a great thing for you to do is ask those questions. You know, okay, I'm feeling this, how do I fix this? Or I'm going through this, how do, you know, what is the outcome? How do I make this, you know, better fit my life? So you just have to kind of be aware of all of these beautiful changes that are coming into your life, and find the ways to best work through them. You know, Mercury retrograde, people are afraid of it, but I find that I gather a lot of insights through Mercury retrograde. I find that my most heightened readings for myself are through Mercury retrograde, because it's like very detailed to the things that I have to work on, the things that I have to change, you know. And it's really important. Our life is all about changes. Our life is about, you know, projects and changes, and, you know, taking care of ourselves and living in our bliss. So she's saying, the beautiful Four Pentacles, just to bring that stable energy. Some of you are going to have a windfall of finances opening up during this energy. And this is a time for you to take, you know, a big chunk of that, especially the extra, and put it away. This is why I feel like in the beginning they said, you know, to kind of be more simple, not to overspend. A lot of you are overspending and you're not really thinking about it, because, you know, something that I learned from someone that budgets is that she says that so much, when you pay with cash, you tend to really look. So if you get $100 bill, right? You go to the store with $100 bill and you buy something, they break it down to, let's say you spend 20, they break it down to $80, you know, then you're noticing that your amount of money is going down and down and down. So you're a bit more kind of like in reality mode of, okay, but when have a credit card, you know, I love it. Like, you know, these companies are all smart. We're going to give you $10 off if you put on automatic, you know, deduction, right? And then what happens with the automatic deductions is, unless you like write everything down, you have automatic deductions of all your bills, of all your subscriptions, and then you're, you know, buying stuff like one of the worst things, which I absolutely love Amazon, but is one of the worst, is Amazon is constantly charging me 5, 10, 20, 15, and it doesn't even say. And I know it's because I have Amazon Prime, and then I have like subscriptions to different Amazon like channels, and you're like spending like, before, when my Amazon, when I first started, was only $20 a month, and if I really were to break down all the Amazon memberships that I have, I'm spending anywhere from $50, $60, $70 a month. And it's like, you're like, wait a minute, well, how did that happen? You know, so I feel like that's what the energy is really showing us, is about us looking at everything, you know, our relationships, our finances, our work, and what is it that we're trying to create? What is it that we need to balance? What is it that we need to simplify? Like I said, I've been doing a lot of cleaning. Like today, I did a reading for a client, and I looked at my desk, and of course, thank God in a reading you don't see that stuff, but were little dust particles, like little dust bunnies. And I had been dusting my room all week, but I hadn't gotten to my desk. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is really bad. So as soon as I finished her reading, I cleared everything off. I cleansed it. I cleared it, you know, before I did this beautiful reading for you all. And that's what it is. It's about us kind of like really looking down into the little, you know, the little crevices, the little nooks and crannies. And what is it that we need to clean? What is it that we need to get into? And this is not just talking about dust bunnies. This is talking about everything, you know, your mind, you know, what is it that you're decluttering? What is excessive? What are you overthinking? You know, it's time to find the solutions, you know. If you're having problems with your beloved, if you're having problems with friends, if you're having problems at work, you know, whatever it is, that wherever you're at, just looking for those solutions. And I say, if you're part of my scripting, you know, I always share what I'm trying to do now is I'm sharing a scripting prompt every single month, besides all the printables, because we do different exercises all month in my Patreon. So trying to add like a prompt with the energy for you to script and manifest certain things in our lives. Because I feel like, you know, if you go to everybody that's showing you how to script, it's always like, what do you want? You want a brand new car? Oh my God, just scripting, you're gonna get a brand new car. But I feel like scripting and manifesting is not about material things. I mean, yes, it is, but it's not all about material things. Because I'm sorry to tell you, you know, I always share the energy of a toddler. When they get the toy, they're super happy and super excited because this is what they want. And 5 minutes later, they completely forgot about it and they're going to their safety blanket or, you know, whatever other toy is their favorite toy, you know? So it's not filling our lives with superficial things that are going to kind of like close a hole for 5 minutes. It's actually seeking real spiritual experiences and balancing and things that are just gonna make you really, really happy. You know, what is it that will fulfill you, you know, going beyond. And that's what I do in scripting. I share with you fulfillment, you know, and I know a lot of you guys don't get it, and that's why I created the workbook to kind of like bring down to the different levels. You know, in my Manifesting with the Angels, the Angel Magic book, the first, I think, 3 to 4, if not even 5, are all about decluttering. And a lot of people are like, well, I want to manifest $1 million. But, you know, sometimes in order for us to get into that big manifestation of the 6-figure business or whatever it is that you're wanting in your life, you have to clear the clutter. You have to get rid of all the things. Like if you're living in a life that's full of like people that don't deserve your energy, or too much stuff in your closet, and you're wanting more and more, you know, it gets to the point that you need to, you know, declutter. You need to get rid of things. And this is not just material, this is also spiritual. So being aware of all of these things, and I love the 4 of Pentacles. If you look at her, she's holding her her wallet, you know, like really close to her as a security, right? Like, okay, so I feel like Spirit is really, really expressing to you to take care of your finances. It's really, really important when a Spirit comes to you with these energies and expresses things to you, is because something's coming that you don't see it right now. You know, like I said, now I have to go through all my stuff and budget everything. My angels told me this week, Daisy, and we need to sit down and go through everything to really bring everything you know, as simple as possible. Just keep the things that I want. That way I could save for a rainy day. Because, and a lot of people, a lot of manifestors will tell you, no, that's not abundance, and but and you know what, and maybe it is and maybe it isn't, but not all of us have millions of dollars in the bank. So until we have millions of dollars in the bank, we need to budget and finance. And you know, it's, you know, not thinking to be abundant you have to spend every penny that you get. No, being abundant is about knowing when to spend and when to put money away. And actually, money attracts money. So if you get $100 and you take 10, 15, $20 and you put it in a stash and you don't touch that money becomes like a magnet to bring in more prosperity, especially when you're feeding that energy. And every time you get paid, you add another 20 and another 20, and then you watch that stash grow, you know. And then you should do like different, like all these super financial multi-million-dollar moguls, they talk about having different bank accounts, where this bank account is for their business, this bank account is for their spending, this bank account is for like emergency things, retirement. Like they literally have 3 to 4 different bank accounts where they put away different amounts of money. And it's different when you have one bank account that's constantly negative, when you have 3 or 4 bank accounts that have a little bit you know, separating money into each of them. I recommend that you read The Richest Man in Babylon. That expresses a lot more on the values and the laws of money, especially those of you that are struggling financially because you don't know how to work the energy money. Prosperity is energy. The only value that money has is that we trade it for merchandise, we trade it for, you know, for like, you know, things for people to do for you, for food, for clothing, for your security. That is the only value that money has. Overall, it's about prosperity. All right, that's it for beautiful autumn energy. I recommend that you guys do a wealth spell this month. I will be linking some new rituals up in my month, just to really find out what Spirit wants to share with you about your personal wealth. I feel like that's what Spirit mainly focused on in that reading. So if you pick that card, it's all about you really paying attention to the finances, to your spending, and bringing back that simplicity, and also paying attention to what your heart shares with you. You know, what's going on when you're in your heart. What is your heart sharing with you? Especially when you have those really emotional moments during the full moon phase. What is that energy trying to express to you? Now we are going to go into the energy of Amethyst. So beautiful mystic Amethyst. I love Amethyst. Amethyst to me is a very clairvoyant type crystal. It amplifies my readings, my messages. It brings protection. It brings healing. It brings balance. I absolutely love Amethyst. So for you, beautiful Amethyst, your energy is about nurturing. This is a great time for meditation, for healing, for Reiki, for going on nature walks, starting a new I'm not gonna say diet, but changing your diet, you know, eating more vegetables, more fruits, really balancing it with, like, you know, grounding type of foods, less junk food, less processed, less takeout, more, you know, cooking at home, more really taking care and nurturing yourself. I'm also seeing the beautiful goddess energy, maybe going outside, putting your feet in the ground, or soaking inside of a body of water. Even if you just get a bucket, throw some Epsom salt, nice warm water, and soak your feet just to clear away any and all of those toxins. This is balancing through the elements of nature. Salt is very beautiful, very purifying, and is a great source of connection with nature. She is also showing me sun energy, sunbathing, just really connecting with the essence and energy of the sun. You could do a sun ritual. A lot of people don't know about sun rituals, It's quite beautiful to do a sun ritual. I recommend getting like a yellow candle and asking the energy of the sun if you connect with the god Ra. You know, just bringing in that sun energy into your life. You might be needing also some vitamin D, so just getting out there, or you might need a supplement. You know, maybe you need to get a checkup to see, you know, what are your vitamin D levels, especially if some of you are going through sadness, depression. Usually the people that are you know, susceptible to sadness and depression is because they're lacking the energy of the sun. The sun is really, really important in our lives. And if I look at her, she is really bringing in that divine energy and connecting with the energy of the sun and just bringing it down. She's grounded, she's happy. You see her smiling, so you could do the same exercise that she's doing, getting out there, grounding, just connecting with that sun energy. With you is going to be more this energy towards the 3rd of August. I'm sorry, of October. I feel like this is when you're gonna feel it most. And it's super funny because I think by then Mercury should have subsided. So I feel like maybe because of everything that you go through Mercury retrograde, once the 3rd of October hits, you're gonna start feeling better. And they're saying just to go out and connect with the sun to just kind of really melt away all the emotions and everything that you went through. All right. The beautiful energy of Mercury retrograde is going to show you how to connect with pleasure. If you have chosen this deck, what Spirit is sharing with you is that you tend to maybe please others. You're overworking, overdoing it. You know, maybe your mom, maybe it's your bosses, maybe it's your spouses, your friends, your family. You're taking care of everyone and you're not taking time for yourself. And I am seeing some of you maybe using this time to go on vacation, to go on cruises, and you would think, oh, who goes on a cruise in October? Well, a lot of people are going on cruises now because, you know, they couldn't go in 2020, they couldn't go in 2021. I mean, even now you still hear about little things that happens in cruises. So people were very scared, you know, and cruises now have great deals. So I'm not saying a cruise, maybe it's a little sailboat, you know, a little trip in the ocean, a little somewhere where you just really connect with that sea salt energy, connect with the air, the element, and just kind of, also they're saying, especially during the 4th week, so the 4th week would be the last week of September, right? Or even the beginning week, anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. So from the last week of September to the 2nd week of October is a great time for you to declare what it is that you want. Like, where do you want to go? Like, a lot of times we don't plan for that. Like, I don't do a lot of traveling, and one of the things that I told my daughter is, you know, especially that I'm going into that empty nest type chapter of my life, is that since my kids are going to be moving to different places, I'm excited about going to visit them and, you know, planning on little kind of touristy type things that I could do in the different places, going to different restaurants, going to different museums. And, you know, I feel like before I never thought about that because I'm always like, home, take care of the house, take care of the people, take care of my clients. So you don't really, you know, and I feel like this, I feel like if I were to have chosen a stack, this stack would be the one talking to me about, you know, doing more things that bring me pleasure in my life. Maybe going on vacations, like planning actual trips. Like, where do you want to go? Like, something that I always say that I want to do is that I want to go to the river, the Jordan River. I want to go to Egypt. I want to see the pyramids. I want to just, you know, go to different places and just kind of like, you know, allow myself to have pleasure in my life, you know, things that will make me happy, things that I want to do and I want to see. So I feel like Mercury retrograde is going to really share this. I'm not saying this is all going to happen during Mercury retrograde. I feel like it's going to kind of shine the light on all of this. You have a lot of sun energy. I really recommend that you do a sun ritual. The sun ritual is to bring light onto the things that you have to do. And not only that, spirits will share with you like insights on all of these things, what action steps to take. So that's just really, really cool. So yeah, focusing on your pleasure, focusing on what is it that you want. You know, what do you want? Because 2022 has all been a year of changes, massive changes that have kind of created chaos, because a lot of us didn't want those changes. We didn't prepare for those changes. So now here are the changes, and we're like, whoa, what is it? What do I gotta do? And that's what I feel like. I feel like they're telling you, hey, you know, it's time for you to take care of yourself. And that's what you're seeing in this reading, is you really deciding to put yourself first, to worship yourself, to create this love energy for yourself. And then you got the Emperor, and he's the divine masculine energy, and he's pushing you into like a power, like become the leader of your life, become the structure, become the, you know, think analytically, think of taking actions, think about ways of promoting maybe your business, you know. And you would think about, oh, Mercury retrograde tells you not to do anything with businesses, and that's not true. What Mercury retrograde tells you is not to like start new businesses or go buy gadgets or a brand new car or sign contracts, like nothing of that. You don't want to do any of that during Mercury retrograde. But if you have a business, I have found personally, and I'm adding all this to my Mercury retrograde survival guide, is that I have found that Mercury retrograde brings up a lot of doors for me to see things that I didn't see on a regular time basis, right? I'm able to see more of the things that I have to finish, the things that I have to work on, the promotions, you know. It's really cool. And the Emperor is telling you that he's very laid back. He kind of like, and if you look at the card, he won his chess game, you know. He's in control, he's a leader, he's an analytical thinker, so he knows what is next. Like, he's really like in a very comfortable state. So I feel like Mercury retrograde is going to bring that into your life. Bring that, this is your comfort zone, this is your life, this is your structure, this is what you want to do, and then take the action steps to do it. So make sure that you write all of this out. Again, I've been sharing this, getting yourself that journal to write everything that you go through the different Mercury retrogrades is going to bring a lot of insights, especially when we're going into 2023. All right, now we are going to go into the energy of the beautiful rose quartz. So this beautiful energy of the rose quartz, which is all about, again, the rose quartz to me amplifies manifestations. If I put it underneath my pillow, it brings in lucid dreams. If I put it towards my heart chakra when I'm meditating, it opens up and heals my heart from anything that has caused sadness or anything that has brought chaos into my life. So, you know, and it's super funny because I'm always sharing with you, and of course you can't see it. Actually, no, you can't. You see all those slashes in the rose quartz. When you've had crystals for a long time, you notice that they get a lot of that, a lot of cracks and crevices, and it's because the quartz has done so much work on your life. And that is kind of like, it's almost like the tree bark having the rings of the years. It's almost that same type of significance. Now, Mercury retrograde for you is going to bring in a lot of blooming energy. You're going to notice in this Mercury retrograde, you're going to see a lot of the things that you have maybe worked on through the last 6 months and maybe have been in a rut, stalemate. Like, you're going to notice promotions, approvals, cash flow, unexpected money, unexpected people that maybe you contacted 6 or 7 months ago. They never called you back, you forgot about them. It's going to bring a lot of that. It's going to kind of like pay you for everything that you haven't been paid, right? It's also telling you, and it's super funny because the Amethyst got this too, is assuming the leadership in your life. A lot of you guys have lost balance this year and have allowed others to kind of like tell you what to do and how to do it and when to do it. And if you are being controlled by everyone in your life, you're not really living a full life. I'm going to give you, and I was going to talk about this in another of my videos, So I just saw the Elvis movie, and it's really sad how we as humans allow other people to really have a lot of power over our lives. In Elvis's life, his mother had a lot of authority over his life, and he respected her because she was the foundation. I'm not criticizing that, by the way. She was the foundation of his life. So he kind of had like a major respect for her. He wanted to take care of her because she took care of everyone, all her children, all her cousins. Like, this was like a huge family of cousins and uncles, like major family. And Elvis, assuming the cash flow energy, because he started making money, as a child, because Elvis started very young. He gave the business over. Like, his dad became his manager. And what happens with that is, if you want to have someone in your life assume the position of managing money, you want it to be someone that actually has had money and has managed money. You don't want it to be your dad because you think it's your dad and you love him and this is going to give him a job. And these are things that, as a loving child, family member, you would do because you want to create income for them, or you want to give them like authority. In Elvis's life, what you saw was everybody took advantage of him, and nobody really looked out for him, because his whatever that guy was, the publicist or his manager, whatever the guy was, he took advantage of Elvis fully. He controlled his life. He kind of puppeteered him to do things the way he wanted them to be done because of his addiction. So he, and I see this in my own life when I have people around me that are trying to control me to do things the way that they want it to be done. And this is spouses, children, parents. Like my mom, my dad is the worst at that. They're always trying to, express to you what you should do and how you should do it. And it's not fair to us. And what happens if we allow other people to puppeteer us, we are not in control of our lives. If you're allowing your parents, when you're a child, your parent is supposed to be your guardian and teach you and take care of you and clothe you and feed you. But I'm sorry to say, once you turn 18, you need to assume the responsibility as an adult, because at 18, you're an adult. And I understand that sometimes you need a little more time. Maybe you're in your 20s because you're still going to college and all that. But once you become an adult, that you're responsible, that you're paying bills, you should be responsible for your entire life. Unless there's a situation that you have a mental health issue, or you're addicted to drugs, or, then it's okay for other people to make the decisions for you because you are not in control. So what I'm expressing is here, being someone in control of their lives, assuming their leadership, will have major manifestations. If you notice that a lot of the people that are master manifestors are either with a spouse that does the same thing they do, or that fully supports them. You will notice that the people that are always struggling usually have people next to them that are bottom feeders, that are leeches, that are always taking from them. No matter who this person is, it's either the spouse is always taking their money, or always taking their time, or taking the energy, or the parents tell them that they have to. Like, my mom's idea was that the children were always supposed to take care of her. It was that old-fashioned mentality that you live in a big farm and you have 20 kids and all those kids are going to take over the farm and take care of mom. That was my mom's mentality. At 14 years old, I was working and giving my mom money. Like, that is not totally not the way it should be done. It's one thing if your parent is struggling and you want to help them. It's another thing to feeling the responsibility for them. It's one thing that your parent's an elder and they are in, a condition that they can no longer take care of themselves. That's different. As a child, as a loving child, I feel like it is our responsibility to take care of our families, to take care of our loved ones, but not in the aspect that your parent is constantly taking from you because they are making you feel guilty. And I feel like that's what this Mercury retrograde, and I'm sorry that I'm using the whole parent scenario. I'm sharing that because my personal experience is what I have seen, but I see this in partners. I had a client for many, many years that her spouse was always sick. I think he fell at work or something and he became completely disabled, and she had a really good job and she was taking care of the house, and he was on a disability check, and those checks are no good. It's like $700 or $800 a month. And I'm sorry, when you have $4,000 in bills, which most average people have anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 in bills a month. So you can, it's like not cool. And she felt like she had to take care of him because that was her husband. And then instead of him being loving and caring and understanding and, well, I'm at home, but let me think about, because I'm sorry, even if you're sitting on your ass because your back is out, you could do computer work. You could think about things. You could work with your hands. And, and it's so sad when we see other people being a victim and then holding other people accountable and responsible. It's one thing that you are loving and caring and you help others. There's another thing when they become the victims and then they bring you down to their levels. And I feel like that's the major thing that this Mercury retrograde is going to show you. It is going to show you all the leeches, all the bottom feeders in your life. And guess what? From what Spirit is showing me here, we ain't gonna like this, because they're gonna show us our parents, our partners, our children, our friends, our bosses. I worked, because I've always been really good at kind of grasping things. And I'll never forget, I worked in a pharmacy, which I absolutely loved, because I loved that it had like a little gift shop. And I always been really creative. Never liked office work. Don't like office work. But I was damn good at it. So they hired me to do the office work. And I remember that my thing was, I'm going to finish it really, really fast because I want to get out there. I want to, charge customers. I want to make baskets. I want to decorate. I want to stock. Like I loved that. And what happened was that I did my work so fast and so well that then the boss decided he was going to give me his load. So then I was doing my job, my responsibility, and every day he would give me more and more and more. And I was in the office for the entirety of the 8 hours, which used to take me 3 to 4 hours to complete and get me out on the floor. It became so much overload because now I was doing my work and his work. He was literally always outside talking to the customers, smoking, drinking his coffee, and I was stuck in the office. And I remember I must have been like 25 years old. I remember one day I had a complete meltdown in the office, and I got up and I literally told everybody to fuck off. I told him to fuck off. And I walked out, because it gets to the point that you'll have, I feel like it was probably a Mercury retrograde in May. I feel like that's when Mercury retrograde, it really shows you things, and it's almost like an awakening moment that you look and you're like, holy shit, I don't like this. I'm miserable. And they're taking advantage of me for a check that I could probably get somewhere else, because that's the thing that we feel like, oh my God, we can't make money unless we're working. My husband's thing is you have to work really hard to make money. In his mindset, the harder you work, the more money you make. If that was the case, housemaids would be gazillionaires. Because to me, the hardest working people that I have come across are usually the maids. Sometimes 8, 10, 11, 12, 13-hour shifts that I have worked alongside of them, and the bosses are always breathing down their throat, screaming at them, yelling at them, telling them to finish faster, to do more. And if the case was the harder you work, the more money you have, they would be billionaires. That's not the case. So it's when we're looking, and then look at this. Transformation, my friends. And they're showing that during the second week, so that would be like even next week of the energy of September, you guys are going to have some major aha moments. Probably major meltdowns, because let me tell you, Spirit got a little strong with you guys. a lot is going to come out in the light for you, and it's gonna and they're saying, they're even calling it painful endings. So if you picked this stash, get ready. Chamomile tea, bottles of wine, because this is major healing that's going to happen for you, my friend. So I am really, really sorry, because this is, I think this has been the strongest stack, you know, relationships that are going to come to a complete end, because you're going to notice that that relationship is no good, that relationship never was never really moving, that it was like a false hope, a constant false hope. Like it was like the relationship was the donkey and the carrot, you know, always having the carrot right in front of the donkey to get them go faster and go faster. So I feel like this is what Mercury retrograde is sharing with me for you. So if you chose this, there's going to be a lot of ripping the rugs from right under you, and you guys are going to be falling on your asses. But on a positive note, Spirit doesn't give you this to make you cry, to make you upset. The solution is that you're going to blossom, that you're going to grow from this, that you're going to realize that this occurred so you could take back the leadership, so you could be the leaders of your lives, so you could assume that control. Because right now, from what I'm seeing here, everybody controls you. Everybody is steering your ship but you. You're the captain, but you're not, because the whole crew is steering that ship. It's going east, west, south, north, and they don't know where they're going. It's completely uncharted. So, you know, and I feel like that's why it's close encounters. And I feel like your angels, you're going to have a lot of spiritual moments. I recommend, if you pick this stack, that you get a personal reading, especially towards the middle, towards the 11th, 10th, 12th of September, to give you insights. Like, because I feel like you're going to have questions, personal questions. And especially, this is like a regular general, you know, see at what's going on with Mercury retrograde. They're not sugarcoating this, guys. You need to assume your leadership. This is going to help you blossom, so you could have a great 2023. This is why this is happening to you, because I feel like this stack has not allowed the changes in their life. They have been holding on and holding on and holding on, and now it's no matter how much you hold on, it's going to come loose. It's going to unravel. It's going to blow up. So yeah, I'm sorry. On a positive note, Close Encounters talks about you connecting with your angels, and your angels giving you a lot of love, a lot of positive hope, a lot of clarity, a lot of insights. So if you chose this stack, pay attention to that. Pay attention to everything your spiritual guides are going to start showing you. Pay attention to all the signs, because they're going to be really resonate with what's coming around you, especially, like I said, during 10, 11, 12, even to the 14th. I feel like that's going to be like the hardest for you. And then once it starts coming to its closing towards the end of September, you're going to be in a more kind of safer place, because you're going to have made peace with certain things. But I feel like even as I'm doing this, a lot of you guys are going through this already. You're feeling that, oh my God, this shit has hit the fan. This is too much. It's overwhelming. They left me. They fired me. They kicked me out of the house. Like major disturbances are coming into your life, and it's going to make you like feel overwhelmed. But then it's going to bring a happy ending. It's going to bring a silver lining. It's going to bring you closer to what you deserve, you know, that better love life, that better job, that better home, you know. So yeah, that's a lot. All right, guys, this video is already long enough as it is. I hope it brought a lot of insights. I will link my Mercury Retrograde journal, record book / journal below. It's great to have, because that way you could write all of the things that you go through. It has daily pages, so you could add what you go through the different days. It has for notes, it has for pictures, it has for insight. So you want to be able to really kind of, because like I said, from the many years that I've been studying my personal Mercury retrograde, I notice that May is always my Mercury retrograde is strongest to me. That, you know, so it all depends. It all depends on what you're going through, the type of person you are. You know, a lot of people say, oh, it's a sign, but I don't feel that either, because if that was the case, then my worst Mercury retrograde would be the January, February, March ones. But it's, to me, it's always, always, always me. That's the one that's like most in my face. All right, so I send you lots of love and blessings. Don't forget to comment below if you have any questions, if you want readings, comment below. You all have a blessed Mercury retrograde. May it amplify your spirituality and align you with real blossoms, real blessings, and I will talk to you soon.